7:00 p.m. As soon as the bodycam turned on, panic was evident. The elderly woman tried to find a way to escape a situation she did not expect to face. The woman, Donna Adelson, was arrested at the Miami airport on the evening of November 13, 2023, just before boarding a flight out of the United States. The warrant stemmed from the 2014 case involving law professor Dan Markle, a case that has haunted the Adelson family for nearly a decade. The police gave her no time to delay. The order was given decisive and cold. But in that moment, what she thought of was not herself, but her nearly 80-year-old husband.
Yeah, you need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
can't.
me?
Please, can I help? No, you can't join me there. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Someone's got
God.
to help him get home. This is terrible.
The order was blunt, the plea desperate. She tried to cling to the image of her frail old husband, but there was no room for negotiation. The arrest procedure begins. Every personal item becomes something to be left behind.
Do you have anything in your pocket?
No.
Do you have anything of value in you?
No,
Plus you have a necklace on you.
What I
You
got?
can take
My-
the necklace.
Yeah, take it off. Yeah.
And the earrings.
And the earrings, the rings, take everything. You give it to your husband. Because once you arrive at County Jail, they're gonna make you remove all that.
The familiar image turned into humiliation, as she had to remove each memento.
Can I call my attorney?
Do you have a passport already?
Where am I going?
Which open your finger?
Where am I going?
You're going to the Dade County Jail.
They County Jail.
Amid the chaos, she clung to her last legal right to call a lawyer. But the response was cold, without any assurances.
Take it right to you.
Yeah, we'll go back out and just...
You're making a mistake.
Okay, so
Not a mistake. It's two mistakes.
and try to take the remote. See if we can get this off for you.
Can you take it off, please, Donna? I don't
I don't want to hurt her. That's why.
Please.
She refused to believe she was guilty. Her words were incoherent because of her grievance. She protested weakly, but things were getting out of hand.
Listen to me.
Yeah. I'll call.
Get in an Uber, go home.
I will.
Take
I
it
will.
easy.
I will.
All right?
Yes.
Here.
If there's anything else in her person that she wants.
While being escorted, she only had time to tell her husband to find a way to go home alone. The image of her old and weak husband having to fend for himself made the scene even more heartbreaking. In the heat of the moment, she kept referring to the medicine bag, as if it was the only thing that helped her feel a little in control.
It's in the blue and white. It's in the blue and white.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get a driver's license for you. Yeah.
The license, the address on the license is correct.
Yes.
She needs all her details.
They're
When she goes to the jail, they work something out with the hospital.
They're all in here.
Her speech was ragged and broken. Medication became an obsession, both a concern for her health and a way for her to cling to a sense of survival.
What will happen is when you go there, they possibly toss them out. So when you go to there, you will meet the nurse and the doctor, and then they'll work in conjunction with the hospital to get you whatever you need.
The police reassured them, promising that there would be doctors and nurses at the jail. But this promise was like a thin layer of paint, not enough to hide the rising unease.
Give me 1 moment, please. Hold the body. 1 moment.
Thank you.
In desperation, she repeatedly begged for a delay, even if only for a brief moment. The repetition was like a sob, showing her attempt to buy time against the cold machinery of the law. Amidst the bustling crowd, the police led her through the airport corridor. Everyone's eyes were on her.
Sit, please. Just be careful with your head. I will sit first. Put your feet in. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
The police opened the door of the patrol car and helped her inside. She sat comfortably in the back seat of the police car, helpless. The warning to watch your head sounded calm, but it felt like a milestone marking the end of her freedom. Shortly after, a female police officer reopened the door, requesting a safety check before the car could move.
I'm going to check you first, okay? Just stay still. Anything have that I can drink? Have nothing on? I should have asked.
The policewoman's voice was steady, just a formality. Donna trembled as she replied, "I have nothing on." In the cold gaze of the law, her resistance was meaningless.
So the next place is what? The warrant? What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say the next place was?
Well, see, what happened is the warrant that they have from you is from out of Leon County.
When did they issue a warrant?
So what happened is we have to take you to our warrants bureau for that information to get entered, and then after that gets entered, before we can take you to the jail, to the local jail.
Okay, because
In the car, the police explained, the warrant came from Leon County where the Markle case was pending. The statement crushed the last hope. This was no longer a misunderstanding, but an official legal document.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to take you if there wasn't something in place.
so aren't they supposed to inform?
Huh?
Aren't they supposed to inform me if there was a warrant for me?
Well, I don't know the details.
I don't either.
They had a warrant. And we were
She still wondered why she had not been warned. The question echoed in vain. Behind bars, there was no answer that could comfort her.
Change my QTH to Warren, transporting a white female, ready for study.
Shifted.
6003. Gonna roll up the windows. It's raining once we exit, okay?
The patrol car started up and rolled out into the night rain, taking Donna away from the Miami airport. She had gone from a name to a radio identifier. The impersonality of the procedure was a stark contrast to the horror that surrounded her.
Sorry, 6011.
Here's up. Let me lock the door.
Push my glasses up a little on my nose.
I got it.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. The little spot office right there in the corner.
The car turned into a police station yard where Donna would be handed over. The policeman's voice was calm, the procedure as usual. But for her, this was the beginning of a life behind bars.
This way, so it's protocol that we need to follow, you know? Rules and regulations.
The police reiterated, everything must be done according to the rules, no exceptions. A cold sentence reminding her that this was no longer a personal matter, but the wheels of the law were rolling.
We're gonna go through that door in the corner.
Donna was led through a small door into the holding facility. The door closed, ending her freedom.
3435, please show me arrival of UK. Ready for ending? Six 6014. Let's have a seat. Oh, you know why?
so glad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why.
The numbers came through the radio. For the police, it was just a routine report. But for Donna Adelson, it was the beginning of a never-ending nightmare. In December 2025, in Leon County, Florida, the name Donna Adelson once again became the focus of public attention after more than a decade since the Dan Markle case haunted American public opinion. The woman in her 70s, once known only as a mother and a grandmother, now had to stand before a jury accused of being an important link in a plan to eliminate her former son-in-law to protect the family's interests. The atmosphere in the brightly lit courtroom was tense, All eyes were on the defendant, where she sat silently, her face filled with fatigue but unable to hide her anxiety. The trial began with the prosecution's presentation. They recalled the morning in July 2014 when law professor Dan Markel collapsed in his garage, leaving behind 2 young children and a grieving academic community. The prosecution stressed that after 11 years, justice is still on the way to a complete solution, and that Donna Adelson, through indirect but important actions, contributed to the tragedy. The evidence presented was recordings from prison, where Donna had many conversations with her son Charlie Adelson, who was convicted in April 2024 on multiple charges related to the incident.
So the things that we wanted to him, we'll talk about in more detail later. So I told him first you need to come here, but I realized that most of everything we can do, I'll have to tell them to leave the country. They're not recording my phone. If they are,
In those conversations, mother and son discussed the increasing legal pressure, about the fear that the family was being cornered after many other characters were caught. According to the prosecution, these were not just casual words, but also reflected active participation in the coordination behind the scenes, even though they did not directly hold a gun or be present at the scene. In response, Donna's defense lawyers immediately objected. They argued that those conversations were not strong enough to be evidence of guilt. These were words uttered in a tense moment, reflecting the anxiety of a mother who sees her son in trouble with the law. They stressed that there was no clear plan, no specific instructions were carried out, and that the portrayal of Donna as a coordinator was pure speculation. According to the defense, their client had been caught up in the legal maelstrom for more than a decade, and now she was falling victim to public pressure for a final answer. Over the next several days, witnesses were called to the stand. Some who had been directly involved in the 2014 incident and were currently serving time testified in detail about what they knew. Each testimony was used by the prosecution to add another piece to the overall picture, affirming that the case was not a single spontaneous act, but the result of a plan driven by many sides. The atmosphere in the courtroom gradually became heavier with each passing testimony. The jury listened intently, taking notes and collating every detail, knowing that the responsibility on their shoulders was enormous. There were moments of silence when the prosecutor recalled the image of Dan Markel collapsed in his garage, as if to emphasize that justice must not be overlooked by anyone involved. They concluded that for the picture of justice to be complete, the hands behind the scenes, those who seem to appear only through a few phone calls, must also be held accountable. Meanwhile, the defense tried to turn the situation around, urgently urging the jury to see the case from a human perspective. A woman in her 70s who had spent her life taking care of her family, now caught up in decisions over which she had no control. By the end of December 2025, the trial had not yet concluded. The arguments between the prosecution and defense were expected to continue for many weeks. American society is waiting for the verdict, because it not only determines the fate of Donna Adelson, but also can close or prolong one of the cases that has shocked and divided public opinion for more than 10 years. The end of the trial not only left a verdict, but also a strong reminder for the whole society. When a person makes a mistake, whether in a moment of rashness or due to emotional repression, the consequences are always severe and long-lasting. That shows that calmness, self-control, and a sense of personal responsibility are key factors to avoid tragedy. This incident also sets a message for the community. Care for and support each other more in daily life. Small conflicts, if not resolved properly, can become the trigger for unwanted events. At the same time, it also emphasizes the role of education, from family to school, to shape the personality and ability to manage emotions for each individual. Finally, society needs to look at these stories as a warning to live more carefully, build relationships based on respect and understanding, instead of letting anger control. Because a wrong decision not only destroys your own future, but also creates irreparable losses for others.